Welcome back to Factorio building the Hyperbase. And we have done a little bit of building between episodes. As promised, I've largely built out these sections and the mining there. And back here as well. This is actually complete. This one is not. We actually ran out of the beacons. We didn't have a problem with the modules. The module farm that we have going way up here is interesting, actually. It should be 2400. They can. I don't know why I've got them requesting 4800. They can only fit 2800. But we must be we're out of red circuits in there. That's interesting. But I mean, the thing is, it's basically fully, well, it's almost recovered completely from. I mean, that's 2400, and the ones over here are 2400. So there's tons of modules there. It's just waiting for red circuits. Red circuits is waiting on plastic, actually. So how is plastic going? Oh, plastic's waiting on this one. That one's probably waiting on coal. I think coal needs to have not just empty cargo inventory, but also a time passed of like 60 seconds, just so it keeps getting moved on. That would probably help. This one, hopefully that moves fairly soon, but that's holding us up, and this one's holding us up. So the inability to unload that final bit of coal is holding this train up, and that was our problem there. So that's interesting. Mining productivity 28 finished. Do I do the next one of these? 16,000. I guess we'll do some of these, get it up to 30, say, before we do the next one. Oh, speaking of the space science, we've used half of it, slightly more than half of it, so that's how long it's lasting. And I made a change in the, I made a change up here to prioritize sending out the red circuits into the purple, because the purple was lagging. Purple's not lagging anymore, but we are having troubles getting enough red circuits into yellow. Hence, yellow is just this little stack, and all the rest are banked up now. So I need to do something up here. Another thing on our original base, which is basically, I think, if we turn this copper, I had a look along here, and you can see it kind of gets fairly thin here in particular. There's not a lot getting through, just a very tiny trickle. So what we need to do really is boost these copper inputs to red belt. I think we'd be okay doing that. I don't really notice anywhere down here where the copper suddenly thins out. So that would help our science throughput. Not that our science throughput really is that critical to what we're doing, but it is. It's still important, and I should come back and fix up the steel, but I don't think steel actually is stressed either. It is red circuits. So I mean, if it wasn't the red circuits coming through here, it would be the supply of processing units also, because of the red circuits. And of course we do need to fill out the rest of the beacons in here that we're missing. So that's something else. And we need to build out the next section, which is kind of a 2.5 series of sections to make the processing units and the speed module 1s for our yellow. Then I was thinking about what I'm going to do for the batteries for the yellow science, and I'm thinking, well, this facility here is currently making enough batteries for solar, which is 4,000 a minute. That's interesting. It doesn't even need those. Now I think we have an issue with the total amount of sulfuric acid being supplied, because it's probably calculated on the 32 machines that we actually needed, so it'd be 64 machines we actually need for double the battery supply. But we may as well, I'm thinking we may as well duplicate this twice for the yellow circuits, and we can probably have it built here. It may even pay to push this whole thing up a bit, although you never know, I might want another row of this sort of arrangement. Certainly we are going to need to that's not even moving. Well, most of the time it's not. So this is getting fully supplied. It needs, I think we need to double that up. I can probably push this side in a little bit, save one space. But yeah, just to get the amount of sulfuric acid reaching these battery machines to, get to these ones on a consistent basis, we need more throughput. You can see the pipes can easily cope with more. So we have all those things. We also have the fact of our solar being well into the second to last row. We need to expand out for the third row, and I got rid of all of my creation here, so I'm gonna no, I didn't. Yeah, I did actually. Okay. So there's a few things. What I might do is, instead of just this sort of, we've got all these things on paralysis that you can certainly get, you need to make a decision, do something. That's how it works with Factorio, and life in many ways as well. Just get on with it, do something. There's my plane. So what we're going to do is we will sort out the main base. Good, I don't have the bots, so they're not going to go run about from me. You can tell from how far through this we got that we actually had quite a lot of time. There we go, slow down. What are we getting filled up with? Actually, mainly we're getting rid of stuff. I think what we need is, say, let's get 1,000 of those. And just to be sure that we have enough of the sort of utility things, let's get them as well. We probably don't need that much, but that's alright. Right, let's come over to red circuits. So, yes, that's just normal transport belt there. Okay. Where's our update planner? It's fast belt now. Oh, and we do want to do it to this as well. I don't need it for these bits, but getting this one with the potential double capacity is what we're really after. In fact, we don't need it down there at all, so it can stop about there. Now hopefully that starts putting through a better supply. Let's see what's going on. Doesn't seem to have impacted this especially. So that's a good start. Okay, now the other side needs it as well. Let's get you a new. That is all fast transport belt. Okay. It's fine. Right, to there. Now that is definitely a stronger flow at this point than we've had previously, which should mean these guys are able to operate more consistently. You can see the difference, so 26,000 versus 35,000, and down here as well, the difference, which is largely based on there not being enough of the copper cable for the end machine, and probably the same sort of thing here, 25,000 to 35,000. It should be working slightly more consistently. The only question is, do we have an issue down at this end in terms of machines placing? No, we don't. I don't know how much better that is. You'd have to think it's got to be better. We have missed a little bit of transport belt there. Okay. Not up here though. And it still doesn't look like it's fully compressed. So, guess you could argue that we could slap another one, a segment of this down. But I mean, as I say, it's not that important in the scheme of things, so I am not going to worry about it that much. That's the that's the solar train. So we do have that one. That's awesome. Let's just put it there so I don't have to find it again. With my plane down there. Okay. I don't actually need these guys anymore. Thanks. There we go. Okay. Off to the solar. So what we want to do is basically that, but get rid of all of this, and this is to obviously just position everything according to the correct count for all of this stuff. Okay, you can come out. Oh yeah, I've left F4. Show me all my bots on. Let's turn that off. We don't need that. Now, we're probably missing a few things. Yeah, we need some of them. We need some of them. We need some of them. We need those guys. We actually need stack filter inserters as well. Roboports. And of course these things. Lots of decider combinators. Maybe some arithmetic combinators as well. Let's just build them. Are they all arithmetics? They may be. In which case we might not have enough. Constant combinators. Oh no, we've got 7 deciders and we've got 1 arithmetic, so we should have enough of all of those. Right. Back to our speed legs. We can deploy some rail along here. We must be getting close to I think I need to move these roboports. Yes, I definitely do. Okay. How's this train doing? Still got 11,000 solar panels on board. That's kind of incredible. What's this at? 183. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, the dum-dum driving these bots is going to insist that the rail gets laid before the trees get removed. That's not going to work, dum-dum. There we go. Are you not in the power zone? That's annoying. Right, you need to be moved then. So obviously we're going to need to move this train as well, but it's not as critical as the reference point for our count and so on needing to be moved. We could probably fly along here in the plane and do this a little bit more efficiently. Just wait for our bots to all come back. I think I'm just 5 short, so let's do that. Grab a quick sip of my drink. Now back to the building armor. Oh, I've got 10. I swiped them obviously from the other layout since they're used in the patterns for the solar panels. And that seems to be that. Let's just jump back to the main base, pick up these few things that we're missing so that we can finish this off. It's just to get my where I am basically. There we go. Those 1,000 at the moment. We have these, yes, and these, and these, and these, and these. That's probably the most important. Okay, so we don't have power. I know from past experience these things are basically hopeless at running along here, so that should give us power. What is our power actually? 304,000 panels. using 11.2 at the moment. What's 304,000 panels? Well, it's over 12. That's good enough. We don't need to know the rest. That is red circuits. That is enough for now. I could possibly worry about putting in the counter thing again, or we can just stop it before it gets there if we're worried about it. I don't know. Next on the hit list, I think, is to grab a bunch of beacons. $200. That's all we can fit. That's probably enough. Okay, that's fine. Good. I'm not going to lose my bots on the way. Let's head back down here and see if we can finish off the build that I was doing between episodes. Oh, yep, I've got to keep going. It really is a long way down here. There you go, we've finally stopped. Let's swap over. Jump on board the plane just because we can then kind of hover in a useful position. Come down here. There you go, we actually oversupplied the beacons. Awesome. So that has us using, not sure because we're recharging these guys, 9.5, 10, 10 and a bit. Yeah, we still have some room. Okay, so the things that we need then is we need some plastic. We need some plastic and we need some batteries. I can't go back over here. I don't think it makes sense to try and draw plastic from there. I think the only thing that does make any sense is unless I find a oil supply way down here, I may as well tap this fairly huge one for more batteries and you know, it could potentially provide the plastic as well. So I guess what we need to do, the other thing I want to know, oh okay, so we're going to dump some beacons and things in here, that's fine. We're going to need to fill this out sooner or later. Probably prefer to do it from this side. Here they all are crawling back. Let's just see how far away the rest of them are. Player robots, not very far, that's good. Okay, down here. So I would kind of like to know what's down here, if anything. Looks like there's another iron source, probably a fairly ridiculously huge one by this point. 9.4, yeah. Basically inexhaustible. There's 29. Let's get 30, because we can achieve that fairly quickly. I don't want to spend half the episode just searching along here, but I guess it's worthwhile. Just in case. I need to sort of uncover this area sooner or later. Not sure where I'm going to build purple science, but oh, here we go. More copper. And more iron. And we just forced RSO to do something. So this is probably something incredibly ridiculous as well. 7.9 billion. You can see these individual. There's half a million in just that tiny square. So yeah, that's what we've got now. So yeah, I may have overcooked the initial conditions just a tad. Right, this isn't really getting me anywhere. So, what to do next? We need to connect up this iron through here. We also need to build out what this is going to turn into down here. I just want to see if yeah, the red did get delivered. So you can see that that's full, that's almost full. So yeah, as soon as the red got delivered, it started filling up pretty fast. And yeah, everything's working fine there. We need to kind of do this sort of thing, except obviously it's a different pattern to this. It's basically 10 in total, 10 rows of 13 blue, 9 speed modules. And I think what I'll do is I'll have it sort of 13 blue, 9 speed modules, then round the other way, then round the other way, then round the other way, just so that there's an even demand on the resources that get supplied. And actually this might be a better model to use, possibly not. What do we have? We've only got 21, so 9 and 13 is 22. So there is that problem. There's not direct one-to-one supply either. These are 23, I think, aren't they? Let's just check. 23, yeah, so we want 22. You should be down here. Well, I want 13 first of all. Maybe what I should do is, I've got a bit of rail. Let's come up here and try and work out how I want this to go. I probably, so this is the red and green. I probably want, oh, these haven't even been finished, which is interesting. I probably want it to kind of merge into the middle a little bit, probably because that looks slightly better, I guess. So if we're having 3 segments of this, go, no, 1, 2, 3 is not even going to work. 1 space, 2, and then the little bit that's left over, 3, but certainly this one should be down here. What sort of spacing do I have up here? Does it look like it's enough space? Because you need an exit space. I guess it probably is, because these 2 would go over here. And then these 2 come back, but they also need to come into here. Or they come through here. So maybe slightly more than this distance is actually what I require. Okay. Let's try and preserve that 1. What's that? What's that? Who knows? So from this point downwards is not enough. Maybe I'll get that one in. Okay. Let's go into InfiniZoom so we can see what's going on. Right. I want to leave a little bit of extra space for this. Like so. And then this is not how I want to handle this one. So, in fact, I might even just make a hole through all of that. Go back down there. Which also means that the location of those is probably way off, because we've already got them up here anyway. Right. Now, I know this is not what I want. That's 13 to there. Interesting. That doesn't even have modules in it, so we need to fix that up, but how does it look up this end? Oh, there's room, there's probably more room up here even than there is down here for more. kind of one beacon down here and maybe two up the top. Guess I kind of want to get a... I can get all these guys again for sure. So we'll take this to 13 13 assembly machines, which is basically that. Processing units. Then I think what I will do is delete all of this. For now. Then I want this to come down one more, like so. One more beacon, like so. Then I want 9 of this type. Whatever that is, doesn't matter. So let's just see when we get to 9 assembly machines. It's right there. Tick. That's kind of annoying, isn't it? We're going to have to redo all of these outer beacons, but I guess that's alright. Oops. Something like that. Now, does this... I'm not 100% sure if that has an impact there or not, but that should be... This should now be 22 down in total. Yep. And... I guess then we can get rid of that. It would be easier if I simply repeat, simply repeat the direction of this. So we do that. And then we spin it around for this side. Which, this is so that we get an even draw on all the resources that come in. But it does mean slight inefficiencies in getting the sulfuric acid to where it needs to go. But otherwise, that is more or less what we need 2.5 times. Now, it also these two need to come over here, like 1, 2. Like that. Actually, it looks like they're just one apart. Yeah. May as well keep consistent gauge as far as this goes. No, of course I didn't get that right. This one comes across here, not quite that. Like so, and the returns also have to we probably want them further down than that. No, dum-dum. This is not what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to come out one further. Go up like that. No, you need to go straight through there. Over to there. Like so. At this point I could probably use a little bit of bot help. Don't mind it filling out a little bit of that. But yeah, that is the general idea. That's the general idea. But we'll need to fill out this facility. We need to build batteries. We need to build plastic. There's some coal. Maybe I have the... Maybe I build the plastic here. Make some more batteries here. And build plastic on this side. With coal coming up here, which doesn't interfere with any of this part. But I probably am actually going to need to revisit this whole thing, you know, after our careful, oh yeah, we only need one train here. If I'm going to build more batteries, I probably need to double it up again. We always needed a little bit more, which means I might want to lower this whole thing down, which is a little bit of an annoyance, but I guess we'll cope. Wow. It's interesting. Oh yeah, it's because of the way this is uneven. So that's the other thing we need to deal with. Where is my plane? It's over there. What I might do is make a copy of all of this part. Like down to there, so that the two full versions of that can be realized. Like so. And this can lead to a half version, which should be easy enough to do. We can sort of base it on this one. I have actually screwed that up, haven't I? Yeah, because it doesn't actually fit perfectly like I thought it would. Bother. Alright. We are going to have to get rid of all of this. Go into that, get rid of all of this part. As best we can. And try that one more time. We've got a little bit more that we need to get rid of up here. Those two. Oh. I think that's what I wanted. Yeah, they connect up now. And there's a couple of little bits here, so obviously we didn't have everything quite correct in the model above that we copied, but beggars can't be choosers in these things. There's some patches for that. And guys, I think honestly we've probably done enough for this episode. I guess what I will try and do now is connect up the iron, maybe try and build out these guys like we did up here, and build out at least one of these, so that potentially we can start, you know, it's nice to have at least part of the whole process operating. So once you know, if I do that for everything, by the time we get to the end, we could actually have sort of 2,000 or 3,000 per minute while we slowly go back and fill in all the bits that are just ghosts. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next. Bye bye for now.